This time I'd like to introduce Tony Testa, who is the Director of Sports Medicine. He's Director of Sports Medicine at Seton Hall University. He's been there for 10 years and he's been instrumental for the development of our current players and some of our past players. Tony has done such a great job that even some of our current pros come back and really take advantage of utilizing his knowledge and his ability to help them recover. So without further ado, Tony Testa.
I'm probably going to switch gears a little bit instead of talking about pro athletes, talking about more of our youth athletes, because I think that's where we're getting into the problems that we all are talking about of elbow and throwing issues. I think it starts well before the kids get to me. As Coach said, this is my 10th year at Seton Hall, my 20th year overall, and honestly what I know now is completely different. What I said before of getting a chance, I feel like I'm in a nice little window in our profession where I have such an amount of science that's being thrown at us in sports medicine that we're at a level that 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when I first started, we were nowhere even close to remotely doing. The young professionals and Dr. Cilia, Dr. Testa, the group that we're working with, and the group that is coming out of school now, the knowledge that they have is through the roof. And the amount of research that is being done in performance, injury prevention, are through the roof, and it's at a level that's never was when I first got into this. But at the same time, I'm fortunate enough to have worked along guys like Coach Shepard, his father, guys like Brooks, another guy, Mike Brunelli, who was the women's basketball coach at St. Peter's College when I first started. Old-timers who won, old-timers who kind of seen all this stuff and were paying attention then. And if you listen to both, you're probably then going to figure it out. Because I don't think our answer's on either which way. You can't just turn your backs to the guys that have done this for years and not listening to really what they're saying. Not just hearing, but truly listening to what they're saying and piecemeal, and maybe use some of the science to kind of prove what the facts that they're giving you. And one of probably the only truth we know, no matter how much research we do into arms, if you don't throw, you then will not get hurt. That's the only thing, right? Stop throwing, you'll stop hurting your shoulder. You stop hurting your elbow. But by the constant throwing, something's going to give eventually. As Coach said, we're not supposed to do this. We're not supposed to throw overhead, but we do. So how do we enable ourselves to be successful and still be able to stay on the field? There's no magic bullet. One caveat I used to say to any parent, any kid coming in that's growing up, going, how do I end up, making my kid at Seton Hall? Well, I used to say, if you end up seeing guys like Dr. Cilia early on before you get to us, you're probably not going to get to college. That's completely out the window. At this point, we've got more kids coming in with surgeries post-operative than I will even do on surgeries, kids there. So that's become a problem. And I think that's what's leading kids to be failing once they get with us. So it goes to, what the heck were we doing to our youth athletes to set them up for the problems that they're getting? The guys that are sitting here, I think, are a perfect example. They're trying to make it, they're humping it. They're either skeletally mature, but they're throwing how many games throughout the fall, how many games throughout the spring and the summer, how many of those stressful innings when the scouts are watching, trying to get out there, and then they're going back into the fall and they're playing again in this other country or this other league, and they keep going, and they keep going, and they keep going. And eventually the body's going to fall off the edge. They're failing at 25 and 27, and they're ending up in Doc's table. Why are we doing the same thing to a 10-year-old? If I sit here and we have all the parents that take all their kids to the club sports at 10 and 12, and we're sending them to train with this guy and play fall baseball and summer baseball and train with the weighted ball and train with the bands and do all. But if I told that same parent, I'm going to take your kid and I'm putting him in a squat rack and I'm going to start maxing him out at 12 years old, every one of them would take their kid away from me. But as soon as I put a heavy ball in front of them or weight on the end of their bat at 12 years old and have them swing with that, all of a sudden, yeah, you must be the greatest strength coach in in the world, because you're training my kid like you're training the college kids. No, there's a disconnect.
Tony, thank you very much. Tony Testa is a perfect representative of the Director of Medical Services, the quintessential modern Director of Medical Services. It's not just the athletic trainer and like Brooke said, seeing it coming, watching it, and specificity of that injury. It's a development of the whole person, whether it be spirit, mind, body, the whole person, or development of the athlete. Even I had the good fortune of spending time with Yogi, Berra, and so many times people would ask him directly, how do I make my child great, or what do I do for them? And Yogi's response was, go play. A lot of things were meant in his simplicity, but go play and enjoy and be a kid, but also don't get caught up in the specificity of training. But yes, Tony, thank you very much. That's perfect. And I do hope you continue to push that envelope. It is a big deal in sport today.